Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
How are we doing?
Afternoon.
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Tim, we stayed up too late recording last night.
We were late, boys.
I am a tired lad.
It's been a long weekend, and there's a lot more recording happening this week.
I'm ready to bring the energy today. That's what I was trying to say, but I choked myself out.
You've got to take the belt off around your neck first.
But it's not pleasurable
It's
without
not
it.
the same. Joe, what are you drinking? Where you been?
I've been to a fast food outlet for dinner because I only got home an hour ago after being at the football.
Who won?
Us, of course.
Nice.
Villa beat those slugs 3-1, so happy days.
Those slugs.
Those Fulhamy slugs. Slade, how are you?
I'm good.
How's your day been?
Well, it's nothing too spectacular. I found out the girlfriend has never watched Friends before in her life. So we spent all last night watching the first season.
Good. Have I ever told you about, when they released it on Netflix and it got this new, generation of fandom, Friends did?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was behind two girls in a queue. And these girls can't be older than 15. And I think it was just a queue for a cash machine. And one of them turned to the other and went, I've started watching this new show that I've really, really recommend. It's really funny and it's brand new. It's called Friends. And I was just inside. I was like, I hate it so much about this.
What year is it?
Well, part of what sparked us really watching it, other than me being very annoyed that she hasn't watched it, was I've been listening to Matthew Perry's biography on Audible.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. But his life is really, it's interesting but really messed up from
It's quite sad.
Yeah, from childhood onwards. His mom was big into politics in Canada. He beat up Justin Trudeau, by the way, which I thought was very funny as a child. His dad was the OG Old Spice guy, the dude in the sailor uniform.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Huh. That's why it's called. That's why they use Peri Spice.
Oh, Tim, that was awful.
But anyways, it's the book's a little rambolic.
Funny.
I think he's got a good case of the ADHD. But overall, it's been an interesting listen. I'm about halfway through it.
Would you recommend it so far?
Yeah, I would. I just wouldn't recommend it. I don't know how it would be the read physically, but he reads it himself, and honestly, you can tell how much the drugs and alcohol have taken an effect on him because his voice doesn't sound anything like him.
Well, when you watch the Friends reunion,
Yeah.
he was not the same man that he was when he was Chandler.
No, and he was talking about he was drinking the big party bottle of vodka, the one with the handle on it.
Yeah.
He was drinking one of those a day.
Woof.
Yeah.
Woof indeed.
Woof.
Tim, have you got any light-hearted stuff you want to bring like Slade has?
I basically spent the day playing Stardew Valley and drinking.
Oh, so are you drunk?
No, I paced it.
That was really...
The no, I don't believe.
It's like
I've had a
group
couple
chat
today.
and you say that you're drunk.
Dirk.
Drunk.
Or we're planning the Hubert games.
It's my favorite thing to get from Tim occasionally is a drunk text message. Always fun. None recent.
Share.
None recent. I sent you screenshots of the last one.
Oh yes, we were going to talk about this.
Oh,
Hold on,
goody.
I'm going to get these. You guys amuse yourself for a minute.
Tim,
I don't know where this is going. What am I drinking? I am drinking Budweiser Budvar.
Okay.
It's not Budweiser, it's Austrian. No, Czech, this one.
All right. Alrighty then.
Yeah.
This is a tall Jaeger bomb.
I do like a Jaeger bomb.
Tall Jaeger bomb.
Yeah, that's a full-size pint glass. Well, it's not really a pint glass. So I was in Alaska a couple years ago, and this is an old beer bottle that they turned into a pint glass,
Nice.
It's kind
which
of
is
fun.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, so Tim, drunk text.
Yeah.
So we'll start. Okay, well we're in the episode anyway. So Slade said, "I know I told Joey, but honestly, use a guide for FNAF. Some things are just dumb in that game." Tim said, "I'll keep that in mind when I'm back." And a minute later, he texts back. Tim text, "Juliday gang." Slade said...
Oh, this is when I was on my road trip. Okay, I was thinking, when was this?
Slade said, drunk Tim, and Tim said, I'm a little wine drabunk.
Oh, no,
And then he said, windy.
I meant to type wine.
And Slade replied, windy. And Tim replied, all in separate text, look, you, wine apparently goes me, so take that. And Slade said, I will take that. And Tim just replied, And,
you can't say I'm not a fun person to text when I'm drunk.
And then Slade said, Tim, if dogs could talk, what would they say? Tim replied, they would say woof woof, Slade. Get with the times, man. Slade said, whoa. Tim said, whoa. And then Slade said, almighty wine, Tim, what is your wisdom? And Tim said, if the ball is too big for your mouth, it's not your call, bell, ball. And this is potentially my favourite bit. Slade replied, that is good wisdom. And Tim replied, Tabawaha.
So I know what bit's probably going on TikTok.
So Habawaha, Tim.
Habawaha.
Have I told you about my friend that we went out on a night out and he got so drunk he was trying to text a girl that he liked to tell her he liked her, and when we looked over at his phone, all he'd written was meet beeper keep.
Yes, you have told us that.
That one lives on forever. Anything else you guys want to let out in this preamble, or should I just get into the episode? Because I feel like there could potentially be fireworks in this episode.
Because baby, you're a firework.
You're going to get us copyright strike.
It's so accurate.
It was just like, that was Lady Perry.
Oh, is that who sings that?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Tim, can you see that in the distance? Is that a giant robotic bear?
What are you doing?
Hold on. That giant robotic bear.
Oh.
That looks like Freddy Fazbear.
It does a bit.
It?
I recognise his top hat.
Oh, Tim, do you want to say hi to Freddy?
Hello, Freddy.
Oh.
Hello, superstar. I hope you are ready for this episode of the Game Club podcast, and beware of spoilers for Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Superstar.
Hello and welcome back to the Game Club pod. I am one of your hosts, Joe Fitzgerald. I am joined by the ever incandescent Slade Island.
Hello.
And the Ian Beale-esque Tim Fitzgerald.
I've got nothing left.
Well done. How are we doing, gentlemen?
I am. You showed me a preview of this intro last night. I am so impressed with that intro.
It's very. Joey said it to me a while back, and I was like, "That's really good."
I'm Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah.
I am Fazdad.
It's a spot-on impersonation, there, Joey. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
I was.
I didn't use AI to make it at all. So
No, not one bit.
Cool beans. So we are here to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, as helpfully told to us by Freddy Fazbear. Before we get to that, I do have a question for you both. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is a pretty far away from the original source material of Five Nights at Freddy's. It doesn't play anything like the original games.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear your best and worst reboots of video games.
Oh, okay.
Best and worst reboots.
Reboots. I mean, Duke Nukem Forever is definitely up there in terms of one of the worst reboots of all time.
It's there forever.
I don't think the three of us have played it, but apparently the current Modern Warfare 3 reboot is awful. From what I've seen.
$70 for a 3-hour campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't
can
pay $70 for the 3-hour campaign. You pay $70 for about 90 hours of multiplayer.
But the multiplayer is copy and paste maps from not only previous Modern Warfares, but also Verdansk.
Oh.
We could just say Call of Duty at this point.
It was confirmed originally to be a Modern Warfare 2 DLC that then grew into Modern Warfare 3.
They aren't Tears of the Kingdom. It's just Call of Duty.
Yep.
So are you unanimously agreeing on that as the worst?
It's one of the worst.
I was going to say the Tomb Raider series because it always starts over with Lara Croft's origin.
But that's how a reboot works.
I know, but it's
Tomb Raiders, the new
like
Tomb
always
Raiders are really
rebooted,
good.
though.
Yeah, they're very well crafted games.
Have you played them, Slade?
I have played a few of them.
Have you played the old ones?
Yes.
Oh.
I remember
Well.
Lara Croft's pointy boobs and not knowing how to feel about that as a 5-year-old.
Trying to think of awful reboots. Oh, do you know what? Actually, one of them, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series,
Yes.
when that got rebooted. I love OG Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, like anything from like 2, really, because 1 was a bit but 2 up to maybe American Wasteland.
That's probably not the best of it, to be honest. Yeah.
But the 1 and 2 remake are meant to be quite good, right? It's like Air and the other ones that were awful.
Well, the remake or reboot of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, I think, if I remember rightly, and one of you could probably correct me on this, involved the gimmick of the Xbox skateboard.
Oh no, that was Air.
Yes.
That was
So
Tony
that was
Hawk's
the reboot
Air.
of the franchise, right?
Yeah. So it lay dormant for ages, and Tony Hawk's Air was what came out, and you had to use a skateboard to play it.
Incredibly dumb.
One of those are now.
Slade spending money.
Slade, you can probably find one in an e-waste bin somewhere for free.
How about Best?
Probably.
Best. Best reboot. I mean, yeah, it's had a pretty solid reboot.
Oh, you can get them for like $20.
Oh, there you go.
You should get one
Best
and
reboot.
play our next game on it.
Do a speed run, but just on that.
Yeah.
Best reboot. I have one that might be a little controversial because I actually think it is good, but that the Medal of Honor game that's like VR exclusive, that's like 400 gigs. It does kind of get back to its roots a bit, but it is a little overindulgent in what it is. But the cinematography for the cutscenes, fantastic.
My mind is only going to remasters. I'm really struggling to think of reboots for some reason.
Ooh, the Ratchet and Clank reboot for the PS5.
That good? Is that worth buying a PS5 for?
No.
Okay,
Speaking of which,
cool.
if you'd like to buy a PS5, send me $450. You can have mine.
How much was it new?
500, I think. $499.
I think someone could offer you 200 and you'd probably take it.
No, because I want to buy a Steam Deck instead. So see, this is how this balance works out.
Okay, but it's not new, so you're not going to get that.
Oh, but it's in box still, and it comes with 4 games.
But it's not new, so you're not going to get original price.
It might as well be new. But I'm including the
there you
games
go.
in that price.
There you go. Reach out to Slade if you want to buy a PS5. Why you would, I don't know.
I don't either, because it's a waste of money.
Don't fucking do it. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, it's like cryptocurrency. That's what a PS5 is. I'd say the Demon Souls. I don't know if you want to call that a reboot or a remake or remaster, but
I think it's a remake, but I'll accept it at this point.
Oh, I know one. XCOM.
did it get like a remaster?
Yeah. Yeah, I get that when it went all like 3D, that was it being rebooted.
Yeah. Oh, then if we're gonna include that, the Warcraft 3 reboot.
No, that's a remaster
So what's that? That's the same thing.
or remake.
At
It's
the end
not
of
the
the
same
day-
thing.
That's a game that hasn't been around since like 2001 or 3.
Yeah, it's still a remake, but it's not a reboot. Like
Have you
Doom
guys
is a
seen-
reboot.
Have you guys seen the Bloodborne demake?
Yes.
The
I've also seen
PS1
plenty-
one.
Oh, it looks amazing.
I've
Have you
seen
seen
it. but
Bloodborne Kart?
Kart. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll play that for the pod.
Are we just trying to avoid talking about Five Nights at Freddy's security breach?
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it.
Okay,
You have
superstars.
No idea.
Let me tell you, I'm a little FNAF'd out at the moment, so I hope y'all
Yeah, that's fine.
just
Okay,
from the other
superstars.
places I've
So,
been.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was released on the 16th of December 2021. It's available on PS5, Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Steam, Windows. It was developed by Steel Wool and published by Scott Games. It is categorized as a survival horror. Here are some reviewer scores, which I'm ready to see your jaws hit the floor, people. It's got a 9 out of 10 on Steam, 72% on OpenCritic, 64% on Metacritic, and a B+ on GameSpot. Slade, what are your thoughts on the game?
It's okay. It's kind of a letdown for what I expected out of the franchise and what I wanted from an open world FNAF game, but we can get into that later.
We should preface this and say that Slade is a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. I was going on talking smack twice to be a lore expert.
Yes, so our Five Nights at Freddy's expert Slade says it's okay. Slade,
favorite.
can you give us a bit more of your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, first of all, being able to be inside the pizzeria, or in this case, the Pizzaplex, and it being like full roam, run around trying to survive. It's a good take. It's an interesting take. Steel Wool, I don't think still knows 100% what to really do with the franchise.
Okay.
Since Scott isn't really developing the games anymore. I was really hopeful for this one after playing Help Wanted, which is the VR title.
Okay.
I was looking forward to this and made me excited seeing what they had done with it. And it's has a lot of roaming stuff in it as well. But other than some really unique and interesting characters being introduced, it's and obviously throwing more wrenches into the pile of wrenches that is the FNAF lore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one. It's not in a FNAF game I would ever recommend to anybody. And I tried to get you to change your mind on this one a bunch.
Spoiler alert there for whether Slade recommends the game. Any other thoughts before I hand over to Tim?
I'm excited to hear Tim tear it apart.
Baby, Tim's a firework. Here they come. Tim, what were your thoughts on the game?
I fucking hated this to the point that I think it might be my least favorite thing we've ever played on the podcast. Like pushing below unpacking standards for me.
Ooh.
So what I would like to do, I've written down my list of positives, my list of negatives, and believe it or not, the list of bugs I encountered.
Yeah. Before we
reel it back, Slade, yet?
Yeah, sorry. I do want to preface that I was aware that this game was a buggy mess. You might have heard me text him that, because I did warn him and Joey that a guide is very useful in this. And to be honest with you, at this point where the game is, I played it at launch on the PS5 at the time. It was an exclusive to it. And it was buggier then, and it's not as buggy now.
So we played the improved.
Y'all are playing
a
improved version of it, is what I would like you to know.
How does that make you feel?
Not great for the game, considering that it doesn't look, run, or really play like a PS5 launch title. Like, I played it on PC, not on PS5, of course. Mm-hmm. And I didn't play this one on the Steam Deck. For some reason, I couldn't get the game to load on my Steam Deck. So, no Steamy Steam Corner this time.
No.
I know.
Maybe that was the Steamy Steam Corner. Didn't work.
It's out of Steam. It's just like water.
Can you, like,
so
Joe, when you're editing this, can you get, like, the sound of an engine dying or something?
No.
All right, cool. Well, I have got a list of positives that I'd like to go through first, because there were a couple of things that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I like the 80s music.
Yep.
80s is some of my favorite music. There was clearly a lot of work put into Freddy's model and voice acting and voice editing.
Yes.
Like, clearly a lot of work put into it, and it was pretty well done. Mattbot, intentional or otherwise, was never not funny.
Yeah.
And the arcade level with the Music Man, Monty, and Chica wandering around was genuinely pretty tense. Now, that was the only time that I felt tense in the game, and I don't know whether that was due to poor pathing on the AI of the enemies, because there were attempts where Monty would just get stuck at the bottom of the stairs, and because he's only supposed to navigate the ground floor, whereas he was going up to a bit where I'm supposed to be hiding in a buggy or a pram, and he would just be stuck going back and forth at the bottom of the stairs. So they would just cut off to me. But regardless, I still felt like I was weighing up risks and monitoring cameras, looking for patterns, and trying to find that really fine shooting through the needle part to go through. And that was genuinely quite fun. I would have liked to have seen more of that, but better planned and not as a result of possible buggy AI pathing. Do you guys want to go to my negatives or do you want to go to my bugs first?
Could we get Joey's real quick before we go into that? Because I feel like it's going to take a while.
It is.
No, I'm happy. You go, Tim. I'm happy to wait.
Okay. Negatives or bugs?
Bugs.
Bugs? All right. So
bugs.
Yeah. It's always sunny bugs. So I've written these things kind of in order of the times that I experienced them. So I experienced teleporting enemies in the form of those security bots and sometimes like Monty. I experienced frame hitching despite my FPS counter reporting 150 to 160 FPS at all times. So
nice.
A poor performance issue. Chica once teleported away when I got the performance disc running. Like, she was chasing after me. I put the performance disc in as a part of a story to trigger like a sequence in the game, and she just vanished before my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
Interesting. Moondrop, one of the enemies, caught me through a wall once when you're climbing through the climbing frame. I had multiple layers of subtitles overlapping each other at points if I triggered events a little earlier than the game expected. And as a result of that, I had multiple voice lines overlapping each other as well. Oftentimes, the retry button didn't work, so I was forced to go to the main menu anytime I wanted to reload a checkpoint.
Sounds good.
Sometimes when I got caught, the camera would sometimes snap 90 degrees either to the left, right, or it would angle 90 degrees the wrong way.
That adds to the fear.
It does add to the fear. Mapbot repeatedly ripped me out of Freddy, trying to give me a map. And while it made me jump the first time because I was aware of no enemies in the area, but Mapbot insisted I have a guide, it was funny the first time, not so much later on. I had teleporting security bots in the storeroom where Roxy is patrolling when you're going around Roxy Raceway. The bunny woman, the one who skips everywhere.
Are you talking about? So that's Vanny.
That's Vanny, okay. She got stuck on an escalator, forcing me out of an area and forcing me to reload.
Nice.
What else? Freddy's battery would not recharge unless I got into a machine the second time.
Yeah,
which is annoying. I was invisible to Vanessa, the security guard, when I stepped out of the Freddy suit in front of her.
Okay.
And by the way, I have clips to back all of this up. If anyone wants to see, I might put together a compilation or something. When entering Bonnie Bowling, my laser gun got removed from my inventory completely. My Laser Quest pass was also gone, and the only way to get into Bonnie Bowling was to complete the Laser Quest pass. So in order to get my gun back, I had to go and do Laser Quest again.
Oof.
Chica,
and that's a really fun bit as well.
I know, right? Chica at one point got stuck in an elevator door in Bonnie Bowling. I had really poor light mapping and often a lot of textures missing when in CCTV mode. Now, I'm going to show you guys an image. Let me just post it in here. In Discord, you'll see a little thing in the general chat for us. If you look at that, the light mapping is off. There's textures missing if you look at the left wall.
Part of the floor textures are missing.
Yeah, I had outright missing textures, but only in CCTV mode. So I don't know what that was about. Chica will often not acknowledge the player if they're stood on a desk or a table. So there was one point where Chica was chasing me through the security room in the underground bit. And the first time I went there, it's part of the story that she gets locked out and you have to go and make a pizza for her to go and eat the pizza, despite being a robot. I wound up kind of backtracking through there later on in the game, and she chased me through there again. And so I went into the security room thinking, oh, she can't get me in here because the game has told me outright the bots can't enter the room. She entered the room, but because I was stood on the desk trying to look out the window, she was stood in the room looking at me but not acknowledging me. Roxy would often lose track of me without me hiding. So she would run at me this way. I would veer slightly to the left and she'd go past me and go, where did you go?
To the left, obviously. That's not a bug.
to the left. And then the last major bug that I encountered is what I'm calling the ramp of lag in Roxy Raceway. For some reason, there is one ramp, and I don't know if it's something to do with a loading zone. I don't think it is because I didn't get a loading icon. There was one ramp when you're entering Roxy Raceway through the construction bit where my game would freeze for anywhere between 2 and 10 seconds. And there was no loading thing. The audio was still going, but my game had stopped. So that happened every single time, whether I was going up or going down the ramp. Those are the bugs that I encountered. The grievances for this thing.
This is longer than the bugs, right?
It's about the same length, to be honest.
Okay, great.
So, in terms of the story, and I'm sure you'll get to the story in a minute.
I will.
The reason for the kid that you play as, Gregory, to be scared of the security guard makes no fucking sense whatsoever. If the machines followed their protocol, which they would because they're fucking machines, this whole thing could have been avoided by them going, there is a child in the restaurant.
Sounds
or
like
whatever.
you've never watched Terminator.
I have watched Terminator, but this is a regularly run pizza restaurant that clearly goes through regular maintenance. It's active and running. It's not like it's abandoned.
Look, our lore expert is shaking his head.
So for someone who is not a FNAF fan, I know that you're a FNAF fan, but let's say this is my introduction to the series. I'm completely lost.
There's nothing normal about this place. Not normal about Gregory, and there's nothing normal about the robots.
But the game doesn't give me any of that. I get that you may get that from other games, but this game gave me none of it.
Right, like the fact that like one robot shouldn't be able to murder another one, that's also a part of this, but we can get there when we get there.
Right. So the other thing, and this was the bane of my playthrough of this, hold E. Those two little words, right, for 5 seconds to do fucking anything. Anything. And, yep.
What game was it a while back I was bitching about this exact same thing and y'all said I was being ridiculous? Having to hold a button to do anything.
Don't know.
I don't know, but this was hold E to press a button, hold E to charge your flashlight, hold E to save, hold E to open the door, hold E to get in the robot, hold E to recharge the robot, hold E to do surgery on a robot. Like, it irked me so much because, let's say, and it's a very common thing in my playthrough, I save, and then I'm like, oh, I need to recharge my flashlight. So I go and recharge my flashlight and save again. That is about anywhere between 15 and 30 seconds of my time wasted for what could have been a save, charge, save, whatever.
Both should have been done at once.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe they could have a system of recharging your flashlight saves the game.
Yep.
That would
make sense. That would make sense, Tim. That would make sense.
I know. Now, I know it's an intended thing, but it still irked me. If you so much as moved a nanometer, Sundrop would pick you up and move you in front of a paint bucket. I understand it's to be like, hey, the only thing you can do is push over these puzzles, but it would be nice to have a little more agency in figuring that out. Forced chase sequences. So I mentioned the underground bit earlier where Chica chase you into a security office. There's like these vats of things in an underground storage bit. The whole point is that you're supposed to creep between the vats and use the cameras that are on opposite sides of the room to, I guess, work out where Chica is going so where you are safe, Chica being one of the animatronics. However, what the game does not tell you before, and it never happens again, is this is a forced chase sequence where as soon as you get to the door, you just have to run, regardless of how well you've done the puzzle. So what I wound up doing whenever I failed it once or twice, trying to work out if there was a way to successfully hide, was just run for the door. Just fuck the puzzle, run for the door.
Yep.
Hiding in boxes and prams and whatever will turn you around 180 degrees no matter what way you're facing. So whenever you leave, you have to turn around again in order to do something, which is very annoying in tense moments like the arcade level or the back of Roxy Raceway. Some cutscenes will just turn you around, like when you're being chased by the thing in the vent. It happened to me once where the game just turned me around and pointed me towards the monster. So in my attempt to press Shift and W to sprint forward through the vent, I ran into the monster headlong. Incredibly stupid.
Is it because you got scared by the jump scare that annoyed you?
I was so spooked. what else? Weird spacing between a lot of the save points and key progression points. Like a lot of the time, it chucked save points at you left and right, and then other times it was like, nah, you lost half an hour's progress, which is annoying and frankly poor design in my opinion. I touched on it earlier with the textures and the light mapping and the CCTV, but I think graphically this game just looks like a piece of shit. Like it looks like it was made for like a mid PS3 game, maybe early PS4, not a PS5 game. Which again, I didn't play this on PS5. I played it on PC. But that's the kind of bar that we're setting here is a PS5 game and not even a launch one.
No, I'd also argue that like the games that Scott made himself look better than this overall, like texture wise, graphically, they do look better. And you should expect more of it a studio. I will say, playing a little devil's advocate, not trying to defend, but this is still Wool Studios' 7th game they've ever made.
Yeah, it's not their first rodeo.
No, it's number 7, and the one they did before this was the VR title, which is better than this one.
Yeah. Some cutscenes can't be skipped, and others can, which is great when you're having to restart from a save point about 15 or 20 minutes ago, because I had time to watch TikTok in between multiple attempts at watching cutscenes or skipping cutscenes. I mentioned this a minute ago, but saving and then needing to realizing you need to charge your flashlight and then saving again. During upgrade sequences, the voice intercom will tell you to do something, then the game will stop everything to come up with an instruction card to give you that exact same instruction, which you then have to hold E to do, and then the intercom will repeat the instruction and the thing will light up that you need to do in the robot surgery. Repeat this about 3 or 4 times for every single upgrade in the game. And then to my final grievance that I've noticed here, during upgrade sequences, if you attempt to do the instructions that you already know to be correct, like removing Freddy's bow tie and chest cavity to work on the voice box, if you do that before the voice box tells you to do so, even if you know it's correct, you still fail. So you have to wait for the voice and then the tutorial card on each attempt, and then you have to hold E for the tutorial card to go away. Then the thing lights up, and then you follow the next step, and then you repeat it for every single part that you have to dismantle or reassemble on Freddy throughout the upgrade sequences. It was fucking monotonous. And that is a basic list of everything I had wrong with this game.
That was a basic list.
Yeah.
So you had a good time?
I had a great time, thank you.
Good. I'm really glad to hear it.
All right, Joey, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
Well, before I get into what I think, I know that Freddy came and delivered a quick message for us. Another character from the game is just behind Tim.
What?
Tim, they've come to just give you a message.
Hi, Tim. This is Vanessa from Security Breach. Freddy is crying because you were so mean. Hope you're happy.
Very. Thank you, Vanessa.
Yeah, so Freddy's crying, so we won't see Freddy Fazbear anymore. What did I think? I thought this game was bad. I picked it because I knew it would be bad. I picked it mainly on the point that I thought that Tim would hate it. I'm glad I succeeded in what I wanted to do.
Mission accomplished.
The music's great. I actually think the aesthetic isn't as bad as you give it credit for. The graphics aren't great, but they, they're fine. They're fun for what they are. I think it was very ambitious to turn a series of games where you mainly stay in one room. I know that there are multiple rooms in some of them, Slade, but into a whole open world game was never going to work. But, kudos for trying is what I'm going to say to that. I think that hold E, while Slade, you were moaning about it somewhere else, it was done to the extreme here. It was very annoying. The monsters, Chica, Monty, and Roxy, were incredibly annoying. And I think that their chase sequences often were unfair. I would hide around a corner where they definitely couldn't see me, have gone in the locker or the bin or the buggy or wherever I went, and they still found me. I didn't finish this game. I managed to kill Roxy and then stopped playing because I thought I've seen enough here. So didn't have a good time, to be honest with you. That's my thoughts on the game. How does that live up to what you thought it would be, Slade?
No, we're exactly where I thought we would be. I didn't expect Tim. Tim, did you beat it?
I did finish it.
You
However,
were the one I
end-
expected to not beat it. I want you to know.
So I looked at the how long to beat and was like, it says 10 hours, which means it's probably closer to 5.
Yeah.
So I made a point to sit down over the course of 2 sessions and beat this. Now, at the end, there is the choice. Vanessa kind of is like, oh, don't you want to stay and fix the robots or whatever? And Freddy's like, you can leave if you want. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm leaving. Bye. Like, that's what I did. I didn't get the true ending, but the game made me really not give a shit about a true ending.
I played 14 and a half hours of this game. And I think that I don't know exactly how far killing Roxy is before the
Basically
end.
the end.
No, Roxy.
Yeah.
It's over halfway at the endish.
I'd say it's like,
there's still more to do if you go to Montgomery Golf and everything. And
that's
Yeah.
before.
No, you
No,
can
I
do it
didn't do
after.
Monty Golf. Didn't do Monty Golf at all.
You can do it after, Tim.
So,
Oh, I thought you had to do it before when you were doing the Laser Quest thing.
Actually, you can skip Monty Golf, to be honest with you.
That's what I did. I didn't do it.
but yeah, so 14 and a half hours in, and I would say that I probably did a third of the game. And that was mainly due to repeat jump scares, putting me back much further than I thought and not being able to work out why they could laser beam me. Yeah, game bad. What else can I tell you?
Shall we go into the story?
Yeah, but I'm going to give 2 versions of the story. I'm going to give one version and Slade's going to give the other. How does that feel, Slade?
Not great. I'm not prepared. What do you want me to tell you about it? Do you want me to just
So,
correct you as you go along, or what do you want me to do?
So,
Am I supposed to? Do I need to go get my whiteboard so y'all can make it for the Tic Tacs? And
yeah, that'd be great. I'm going to give you the version if you've never played Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, this is the one I experienced. Aside
Yeah.
from, I've played like a little bit of 3, I think, and still hated it.
I made you play 3 a while back.
Yep, hated it. So I'm calling this a fresh start.
So, you play as Gregory. You're a child who's has spent the day at the Mega Pizzaplex, which is a big pizza place, like a giant Chuck E. Cheese, but very much on crack. You're locked in after the doors have closed, and the security guard Vanessa wants you to leave, rightly so. You decide that she's up and against you, and you employ the help of Freddy Fazbear, the lead singer and mascot of Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex, to help you escape and survive until 6 a.m. when the doors open. The other animatronics, including Glamrock Chica, Roxy, and Montgomery, hate you and want you to die because they're bloogie woogie woo evil. And you also find Sundrop and Moondrop, who are the same person, who I actually think is a good character. An original good character. Creepy, buggy, but also I think that was the only bit of the game that I was genuinely scared at, was when you had to turn all the generators on. You fight through the Pizzaplex, which is enormous, until 6 o'clock, where you can escape, or you can do the true ending, where you kill, William Afton in his Springtrap bunny thing. Slade's shaking his head. That's what I got from it.
So
Go on, Slade.
Okay. So Gregory is not actually a child. Gregory is actually a robot, and he was made by his mother, who's also an Afton. I forgot her name at the moment. Let's just call her Karen.
Can I pump the brakes for a second here?
Yes.
This is already stupid.
At what point does it tell you that Gregory's a robot?
Well, it's part of the DLC, if I'm not mistaken. But the other half,
Ruin DLC.
Yeah, but the other half of it is stuff that's deeper in the game that you have to go find. But it's also the fact that the robots are against Gregory and they don't see him as a child is the other half of it.
Well, because he's not. He's a robot, apparently.
Right, he's a robot. And Gregory is basically the reincarnation of the crying child from FNAF 4, the one that got bit. You know, that lovely little bite of 1987. That one. His mother was trying to make her son new again.
Can you just tell us about the Bite of 87?
I will not. You want to know about the Bite of 87? So, older brother Michael Afton to young Gregory Afton was being a bit of a dickhead on his birthday and shoved his head inside of a golden Freddy Fazbear, but it was the one with the spring lock animatronics, and its mouth clamped down onto Gregory's head, killing him.
Was that the Bite of 87?
The only reason I wanted you to tell me about the Bite 87 is so we could get the Markiplier sound effect.
Is that the bite?
Right. So you see it in the fourth game. And then, so from what the people are theorizing about the story and everything, what seems to be the conclusion of Reddit is that everybody's favorite Faz dad, Freddy Fazbear in this version, is Michael Afton, the reincarnation of him. That's why he wants to protect you so much and not try to kill you like the other animatronics do. Mm-hmm. Vanessa is not related to the Afton family whatsoever, but she got
the movie saying so.
No, exactly. Despite the movie saying so, because see, she is influenced and slightly possessed by William Afton, whose soul was in the circuitry of Springtrap after it's been burnt for like the 9th time. Mm-hmm. And they took that back while they were developing the VR game, and Vanessa was a VR developer.
Yeah, she got
the short end of the stick on this one.
By a character in the VR game called Glitch Trap, right?
Yep, yeah, but who's William Afton incarnate. It's hard to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when I said this game just throws more wrenches into the big pile of wrenches that the lore of this game is? It really is. And when I was talking about animatronics, Tim was saying how they should be. Like, Monty or Montgomery Alligator Crocodile, whatever the fuck his name is. There's like 100 characters in this series now. He is the one who killed Bonnie, and that's why Bonnie the Bunny is not in the game. If you go down into the basement, you'll find like a molten amalgamation of like a bunch of different animatronics together.
What's that called?
Fuck if I know, Joey. There's like 100 characters in this now.
Can we call it Mangle just to annoy you?
There's 100 characters in the pile.
Yeah. It's just a pile of melted parts trying to get Remnant back to reincarnate other people. It's.
Can I recommend that if you really want to learn more about the FNAF lore, that you listen to the episode of Talking Smack that Slade was on, please?
Can I also say, I really like Guilty Gear lore. That makes a lot more sense to me than this.
I'd say it's the other way around for me. The FNAF lore makes more sense than the Guilty Gear lore.
It's stupid.
Yeah, both are, Tim. They're both
Guilty
dumb.
Gear is knowingly stupid, and it leans into it.
So is FNAF. It's also
to me, it doesn't feel like that.
It does. Wow. Anyways, but that's where we are with this series. And then there's the Ruin DLC where you play as a girl who's looking for Gregory, but she knows that Gregory is not actually a person. And it's also like not the first time a child's been replaced by a robot in the series. That's in like several of the books. It's a fucking mess.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have to say it. Tim, what was your favorite part of this game?
I said it already in my spiel. The arcade sequence was genuinely the most tense part of the game for me. Mostly because the rest of the game didn't feel tense. I was more annoyed the whole time. But the arcade bit genuinely felt like a puzzle.
How long did you play this for?
7.5 hours.
Okay. Did it feel worth it?
No. God, 30 minutes didn't feel worth it, let alone 7.5 more.
I can imagine you sitting at your computer seething while playing this.
I look like, in old cartoons when their head's about to erupt. They've got like the red and like the misshapen head. That was me.
Yeah, cool. Slade, what was your favourite part of the game?
The intro sequence with the music.
Yes, Slade
that
knows
was phenomenal.
Exactly how it is. I think that the Sun Drop, Moon Drop character was very good. Do you know what I really liked? And Slade has talked about this in previous episodes of Game Club Pod. They didn't just use the vents to go from A to B. There was a purpose to them, and there was an enemy in them, and it didn't work well for Tim. But it meant that while crawling in the vents, you weren't safe, which you are in most horror games. So I really liked that.
There is one other moment that I had. I don't remember exactly who it was I decommissioned, whether it was... I think it might have been Chica. But she's chasing you around while you're trying to flip on these generators in what looks like a car park. and you end up going out this kind of back entrance and almost into like this maintenance tunnel. And I turned around because I thought she was chasing me, but the music had stopped. So I had like my laser pointer out to be like, haha, fuck you. What I saw instead was the red eyes of Vanny the bunny skipping up the stairs without music. And I was like, oh shit, okay, she was there the whole time, I guess. You know what? Good moment. Good moment. Use subtlety. More of that. Less of everything else.
That might be the episode title. More of that, less of everything else. Any more shining lights before we move on to scores and recommendations?
Let's head on the scores, please.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to start with Slade, please.
Sure, I would give this a 4.
Okay. Recommend?
No.
Cool.
That would be like me telling you to play FNAF World, which you shouldn't play FNAF World. It's like a 16-bit.
FNAF World?
That's a 16-bit RPG based on the Final Fantasy series.
Sounds like
Weird.
right up Tim's street.
It does sound like doesn't it sound like it's up Tim's street?
Weird.
Yeah, well, just like Final Fantasy.
What I forgot to do is the specs of this game. So,
oh yes,
the game is 80 gig in size.
Is it really?
That's without the DLC, and the DLC is the same size.
Oof.
It's a big boy. It took a long time for it to download on my thing, and
I think this is one of those cases like they could have toned the scale and the size back of a lot of it.
Yeah,
and it would have been fine. It's too big for the first open world adventure, the first true open world adventure for FNAF.
Yeah,
it's too big. They could have scaled it down to like a third or maybe a quarter of the size.
Yeah, I agree. Or they could have just made use of a third or a quarter of the map size and had more within it, because there was a lot of vast open space in this.
Yep.
Just for scale. Tim, if you don't mind, I'm going to go next because I think your score will be even funnier. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10, please.
A 5 out of 10?
With no recommendation. I give it a 5 out of 10 because I've seen 2 Let's Plays all the way through of this, and Markiplier's Let's Play of this is genuinely hilarious. I don't know if you've seen any of the moments of it.
No.
There's a bit where he's being chased by Monty, and he's calling Freddy so he can hide inside the chest cavity of the Freddy Fazbear animatronic. Freddy Fazbear runs across the room at him and straight past him and up the stairs. And it's bugs like that made me laugh out loud. I'll send you the clip after the episode because it's really funny.
Freddy, please. Oh my god, no. Not like this. Not like this. Please. Give me in. Freddy! Freddy, you bitch! Freddy! Freddy! Freddy, don't wait your turn. God damn it. Freddy! What? Oh my god, no. Not like this. Freddy! Oh my god, are you serious? Are you serious right now? You cannot be serious. Freddy! Oh my god, Freddy! Freddy, you bastard!
But it gave moments like that, and I think water cooler moments, even though they're completely unintentional, are pretty rife in this game. So 5 out of 10 because I enjoyed talking about it more than I enjoyed playing it. Do not recommend.
Cool.
Tim.
What did we give Unpacking?
3.
I'm going for a 1.
Oof.
This is... I said it before. I think this might be the worst thing I've ever played for the podcast. I hated every second of this, outside of the 4 positives that I gave.
That's 4 more than you gave for Unpacking.
I know, but Unpacking was over quicker.
Wow.
1, and I think it's fair to say I'm not going to recommend this. Like,
really?
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to particularly refer people to this one.
No, I wouldn't.
So,
either.
What does that leave us overall, Slade?
3.3 repeating.
Yes, it's more than Unpacking. It's not, because Slade gave it quite a high score.
No,
but it's
3.3 repeating, No recommendation. If you're new to this franchise and you want to get in, just play the games in order, not chronological order. Just play them in release order.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because at least the first few Five Nights at Freddy's game, to its credit, does something different.
Well, also, they're all available on Android and iPhone now.
Oh, there
so
you
they're
go.
so accessible, and they work really well on those devices.
But this didn't feel like it did anything different.
No,
It felt really generic.
I would say after Ultimate Custom Night, you can probably bow out of the franchise there.
What the hell is Ultimate Custom Night?
The game.
I've got that part, but what is it?
That is the game where how do I make this easy? So the guy who made the animatronics wasn't William Afton, but it was a guy named Henry Emily.
Oh, fuck me, I already want to blow my brains out.
And Henry was trying to get rid of the last of the animatronics, seeing all the places burned down and whatnot. So he made a fake restaurant to kind of trap them all in. And then he gets them all trapped in there, and then it gets burnt to the ground. Now it's Pizzeria Simulator, but this is important. Burns to the ground. William Afton also gets taken in there. It gets burnt to the ground, but the restless spirits will not let William Afton die. So Ultimate Custom Night, right? It's every child that he's murdered. So like all 100-something animatronics against you, the player. That's actually, you can attempt it. Like there are people who have beaten it with all the AI set as high as possible. And it's a wild run to watch.
It sounds like one of those mobile games that you get where it's like you versus 100 other players, like a PUBG thing.
Yeah, but it's you versus like 100 AIs essentially. And
one of the
watching
AIs,
the runs
Tim,
of it
if you put them up to full difficulty, one of the AIs in Ultimate Custom Night literally is there to block 85% of your screen.
Yep,
that's really annoying.
Yeah, that's really kind of the point.
But yeah, okay, cool. So don't
there's
play
like
this game.
There's like a fishing mini game as part of it too that you have to do.
Yep, play that one instead. Probably more fun.
Yeah, probably.
Tim, what are we doing next time?
Next time, we're playing a fun little romp in Battle Block Theatre. And also, you should join us next time because next time, between now and then, Slade is going to go and find the biggest golf club he can and see how hard he can hit the smallest golf ball.
And then insert it in his anus. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Battle Block Theatre. See you in the post amble. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, guys. We are in the post amble.
Hello.
Post amble.
How did we get here? So I have a single round of categories for you.
What?
Hooray.
I have completely forgotten where I saved our categories jingle because it's been a long time. So I'm going to use a completely separate jingle that was sent to us by the Northern Boy. Enjoy.
I will accept audience coming.
Boy, I can't wait to find out what makes it to the TikTok.
This game is called I Will Accept Audience Cummies from Tim. And all I need you to do is tell me the categories, the items within the categories that I give you. I don't have a timer because I've lost the jiggle sandwich as well. So, I'll do fucking something.
You'll work it
Who
out.
knows? I'll work it. We'll I don't know. Here's this.
That's pretty appropriate.
Yeah, it's appropriate.
Hold on. And if you hear that, well, you're out of time.
Fine.
So, one category, one round only, because I'm sick of editing episodes that are over an hour long. IMDb's top 10 rated games of all time, going straight over to Slade.
Elder Scrolls Skyrim?
Tim, you could win this immediately.
Minecraft.
Slayed you back in.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Tim, you could win this immediately.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Slayed you back in.
What the fuck? Tetris.
Tim, you could win this immediately.
Super Mario 64.
Slayed you back in.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Tim, you could win this immediately.
Jesus Christ. GTA 4.
Slayed you back in.
I don't know. Legend of Zelda.
Which one?
Ocarina of Time.
Ping, Slade wins.
Hey.
Slade wins. Would you like the whole list?
No.
Is it top 10?
Top 10.
Yeah, go for it.
In reverse order. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. God of War Ragnarok. Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. The Last of Us 2. Witcher 3 Standalone. The Last of Us 1. Red Dead Redemption 2. And Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3 is their number 1.
Number 1. 9.8 rated.
God damn, nice work, Baldur's Gate gang.
Yeah, that was good. So that was the end of the post, Apple. See you later, fuck faces.
It's game over. Oh, God! How you... Oh, my God. No, not Monty. Not Monty. Not Monty. Not Monty. I can't stop Monty. I can't stop Monty. Freddy, Freddy, please. Freddy, Freddy. Now, now. Freddy, now, now. Freddy. 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 Freddy, I need you right now. Please be... Oh, God. Oh, God. That's not Freddy. Freddy! 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 No! Oh, no, 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 no! Freddy! Freddy! Freddy, please. Oh, my God, no. Not like this. Not like this. Please. Give me in. Give me in. Freddy! Freddy, you bitch! Freddy! Freddy! Freddy, don't wait your turn. God damn it. Freddy. Freddy? What? Oh my God. No, no, no. Not like this. Not like this. Freddy! Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? You cannot be serious. Freddy. Freddy! Oh my God, Freddy! Freddy, you bastard!